Hello, Pod Posse. Welcome to Design Time from the Floor Up. I am Lindsay the Stager, your host. It's good to see you all. We've had a bit of a summer hiatus, but I am so happy to be back, and we are interviewing Emma Shay. Yay! Hi, Emma.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Where did you come from? Where are you right now?
Well, currently I'm in my bedroom in Michigan.
Oh, you're in Michigan.
Yeah. Great
Did you know
Lakes
that I'm in
State.
Raleigh?
I
I'm
did
in Raleigh,
not
North
know.
Carolina. There it is. And if you're wondering what this crazy background is, I just moved back into my newly renovated home, and I think that you'll enjoy this because of what I'm about to tell our pod posse that you do. But this is my daughter's room, and we talked about it for a long time. It's cheetah wallpaper that she chose because she's an animal lover.
Oh,
It's it's upholstered light pink single twin beds with cheetah Betsy Johnson sheets. And then she's got gold metallic walls to go with the cheetahs, which was also her
my
choice.
goodness.
So I am excited for you to enlighten us about, I think it's called DIY, do it yourself. Do you do it yourself?
We do a lot. We're in our first house ever. We bought it in 2020. My husband and I are high school sweethearts, and have been together for 8 years, married almost a year now because I got married last October. But we bought our house.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
How old are you guys?
I'm 26. He is about to be 25. I'm a little cradle rocker.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm also a cradle rocker, but my husband is 5 years younger than I am, and I'm a lot older than
5
you.
years. Wow.
Five. But, I'm so much younger than he is, by the way, even though I'm older.
Mentally.
Just
Yeah.
goes to show you.
Of course. Yeah.
Okay, back to you. You're married. You've been together for 8 years. You were high school sweethearts. You got married last October. This is your first house.
Yeah.
And let me guess.
Go ahead.
What? Well, I remember when I was married the first time. And I couldn't wait to do up my first house, and I didn't have any money, and so I had to do it all myself. But I am excited for you to tell us, how do you do it yourself? What did you do?
We honestly, surprisingly, people are always shocked when I say we have not done any major renovations in this house, and it's 99 years old. Thankfully, it was move-in ready when we moved in. It just needed some paint and touches up of things here and there. But I mean, ultimately, it's shocking how much you can do with cans of paint. And yeah, exactly. And just intentional
So Emma,
decor.
one of my famous quotes is, "There's so much money in a can of paint." Because when I stage a home and, 1995 calls to apologize because we have to change a red dining room, there's so much money in a can of paint. And I see what you've done. You're in your bedroom.
Yep.
And I love your gray. I love your pictures under your sconces. I love the balance of that. And I love what you've done with taking the height up with your higher curtains than the windowsill. That's awesome.
And also the window is off center. So that's why I have the curtains kind of hiding the window. So because the bed can't go anywhere else. It's literally a 10 by 10 bedroom. It's teeny tiny.
That is a very smart thing to do. You've made it look like the bed and the window are centered because of your window treatment placement. I love that.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, with a can of paint and intentional styling, you can change a whole house. Seriously.
What are your colors throughout your house?
I tend to gravitate towards berry tones and pastels. But my bedroom right now is a little out of my comfort zone. I have a quilt on my bed from my grandma, and then I found a tapestry that matched it perfectly. So my bedroom is kind of the outlier right now. It's very fall colors, it's reds and oranges and yellows, but still cozy and it still fits. It's fun.
I don't see any of that. I see a really
It's
good gray putty.
down here.
Oh, there it is.
With the
And
dog too.
and who's that? Yeah, who's that?
Charlie, my dog, my 3-year-old dog Charlie.
Oh, Charlie, you're as old as my son is. Hey, speaking of sons, Emma, are you guys going to have children?
We'll see. We just got a puppy a month, like less than a month ago, a Dalmatian puppy. And it's a
Wow.
lot.
I know, right? Then don't ever have children, please.
Well, so here's the thing is like we always have imagined having a family. We just don't like babies. Like babies for some reason terrify me. But I also don't want to adopt because like I want them to be my own, you know? So it's like I guess we'll
Emma,
just have to like truck
between-
through the baby stage and then get to the kid stage.
Emma, between you and me and our billions of followers, I hate children, and I have 2 of them. I hate children. I will say that.
And was that
And I love,
was it a choice or is it an accident?
yes. Oh my God. So, not that anybody wants to know any more about me, but just really quick, I had my first daughter, Daisy. She's now 9. I had her when I was 38, and I tried very hard to have her, miscarriages, all the things. Had her naturally. And then when I got married for the 3rd time, yes, that's what I said. I'm married to this younger guy who didn't have children. And so we had to have, he had to plant his seed. And so he forced me to have this amazing little boy, River. And we had to do it for 17 months.
Oh my gosh.
But we had him naturally, and I had him when I was,
Oh my gosh.
I know, it's stupid.
Well,
Anyway.
hey, it turned out fine. So
It was fine. And I'm happy that everybody's healthy and happy, and there are no special needs or
Mhm.
disabilities or all of the things that can go wrong.
Yep.
And I don't want to like discourage you from having children. It's just that puppies are hard. I was just saying earlier that my whole fam is up my butt to have a puppy because we lost our beloved Rowdy in January, and he had lived a great old life. He was 13 years old. And I am like, I do not need anything else to take care of right now. Don't even give me a plant.
I know, seriously. I'm sure that that's a lot.
Well, you decide about the baby thing. Let's get back to the small spaces.
Right. Which
Let's
in this
put the
hold
children
on.
in the small spaces.
Yeah, I was
What?
going to say, related to that, we will never, hopefully, fingers crossed, all that we can help have a child in this house because 876 square feet with a baby? No. I can't even fit a, bassinet next to this bed. I can barely walk
Back
next to this
that
bed.
ass up, Bertha. I didn't know that you were in a place that small.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is. Well, technically, it's 876 square feet on the main floor, but then we also have an unfinished attic for storage and a partially finished basement. It's carpeted and there's a couch in it if you count that as finished.
But it's not like used space. Will
Right.
you ever do anything with that upstairs attic? Like turn it into an
No,
office?
probably not. It's honestly, we're tall people and we can only stand up in the middle. It's pretty small. It's meant to be, it's a bungalow. You can walk around up there. It's just, and people in my neighborhood have finished their upstairs, but we don't plan on being in this house for much longer, hopefully. So I don't think we'll put too much money into it.
So let me get this straight. This is the vision that I've created in my head. You guys are together, you get married. Do you buy the house before or after you get married?
For 2 years before, during the pandemic.
I totally get it. That's another thing. River was born the day the pandemic began, March 11th, 2020. I can't make this shit up.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Holy
I know.
cow.
So anyway, you guys find this house and you love it because it's 99 years old. And have you ever done the do it yourself in the small spaces before you encountered this? Is it something you've been doing as a child? What?
I mean, as a kid, so my childhood house that I grew up in for 15 years of my life was only 900 square feet with 4 of us in it. But it had 3 bedrooms plus a bedroom in the basement. So it was a good layout for a 900 square foot house. And always, as a kid, I was always like, Mom, can I rearrange the living room? Can I rearrange your bedroom? Like all of these things.
Totally.
And then we moved to a different city, bigger house, whatever. And then all I had was really like my bedroom, because at that point, I mean, I was busy. I was in high school. I was in volleyball and all these different other things. Like, I didn't care. I was like, do the house however you want, Mom. I don't care.
Right.
But I mean, at that point,
So
I
would
had
you
just
say,
gone.
sorry to interrupt
Yeah,
you,
go
but
ahead.
would you say that that house where you had 4 kids, which by the way, that sounds like a way better layout than what you're in if you can't even imagine having children in your home, but you grew up with 3 brothers and sisters?
No, it was 4 people total. 1 brother.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
But I mean, it's people back then, we have seen the history of our house. We reached out to like our historical society, and at one point there were 7 people living in this house. And I don't
How
know
many
how.
bathrooms?
It's 1 bathroom. So I have no idea how 7 people lived in this little house.
Oh my God. Well, this house that we're in, we bought it because it's just in a great spot, and it was a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. And we lived here while we were figuring out what we were going to do, and we just added 1,000 square feet
Wow.
and another bathroom and like blown out the kitchen and everything. So now it's like livable, but we had like Christmases and craziness and babies and all this people in here sharing 1 bathroom.
Yep.
It is not the kind of house that you want to do your colonoscopy, drink the stuff the night before.
Oh
in.
no. Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, I didn't. I went to my parents'
There you go.
I'm a very private pooper, so
Yeah, there you go.
anyway. So, so Emma, back to this cute little house that you have. Is it the only one that you've done, or are you like turning this into taking over your neighborhood situation?
We don't have plans for that right now. We may, when we decide to move, depending on how the market is, we might turn this into a rental house. But I mean, we'll see. The market already it's still so insane. So even if we moved in the next year or 2, which is not realistic, it'll probably be like 2 to 3 years before we move. But we never know what the market's going to do. So we'll see.
Emma, what do you do for money? If you're not like taking over your neighborhood and doing it yourself to everybody's home, is this like your side gig, or like how do you make money?
Yeah. So I went to school to be an accountant. So I have been an accountant for the last 3 years, technically longer, because I did internships in college. And then my husband is also in accounting. So we're both making good money. But I mean, with accounting, you just need a creative outlet. I mean, at least me. Some people just love accounting. My husband is one of those
love that.
people. But so I
You know
have...
what's so funny is you would never say to somebody creative like me that I need to have like a number outlet.
No.
You know,
Oh my
like
gosh, I know.
when you say that you're in accounting, I'm like, wow, that means that she can add really fast. And I
No.
still have to use my fingers.
No, here's the thing is like, I don't know how I ended up here. I don't know how I'm in accounting. I'm not good at math.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
But so like backstory, back in like 10th grade career fair, there was like a fork in the road. I went to both the booth for interior design and the booth for accounting. And then I went to the interior design one and I was like, oh, I'm not as artistic as these people. I won't like be able to make it as an interior designer, but I could definitely make money as an accountant.
Aw.
So I was like, I'll be an accountant. But I mean, accounting is fine. It makes me money. It's a comfortable job and it's predictable. But like, I mean, in the last 6 months, I actually like started up my own interior design business. It's mostly virtual.
Yay.
But yeah, so I mean, I had already been doing it for friends and family, you know, for free just because I like to do it for so long. And then I was finally like, you know what? Why don't I like try to make something of this, because I don't want to be in accounting.
Good. So what are you known for? What's your signature DIY? That's what I want to know.
I would have to say, so I have like on my presence on Instagram and TikTok, I think people mostly know me for either my sniff station that I built for my dogs, or my sunroom went really weirdly viral and I don't know why.
I'm going to back it up to the place where you were talking about your family. You have a brother, and it was the four of you growing up in a house that's small, like the one that you're living in now with just you and your husband, under 900 square feet. But the layout was so much better. You guys had like bedrooms. How many bedrooms do you have in your little house now?
2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. But we honestly,
and I told you about ours.
It's a good layout in this house too for 2 people. Because we have like the 2 bedrooms, we have a designated dining room, whereas like I feel like a lot of smaller houses have like an eat-in kitchen and that's it. So I feel like we're lucky in that aspect. The kitchen is also nicely set up. It's a nice like U-shaped kitchen where I feel like a lot of small houses have like a galley or like I said, like an eat-in kitchen. So like it's good for 2 people. But when I was growing up, that was good for 4 people. So it's just different.
I know, and people are just bigger and we feel like we need more space and we really don't. You know what's such a wasted space is I'm interested that you said that there is a designated dining room, because a lot of homes that I walk in, they've like taken the dining room and made it into a playroom. And I'm like, no, this is not how we need to photograph this house if you want it to sell.
Right.
But you like having this designated dining room.
Yep. We have like friends over for games and like.
What did you do? What did you do in your dining room? Like, how did it start? And then what did you do to change it?
Well, our dining room, like I said, our house was like pretty move-in ready. Like for the dining room, we have beautiful like trim because it's a really old house. So we did like the contrast or the inverted trim where like the trim is gray, the walls are white instead of the trim being white, like in most people's houses.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. But otherwise, like the dining room is honestly, it's just like the table. We have like a mid-century buffet from my husband's grandma's bedroom, which is really cool. And then it's like the dog beds. It's a small dining room, but it functions. We did not have to do much though.
You eat in the dining room and you also smell the food, which leads me into a sniff station. What is that?
So a sniff station, I built that for my dog, Charlie, back when we just had the one dog, I think 2 years ago. It's essentially just a collection of dog-safe plants that encourages your dog to sniff, because sniffing is really enriching for dogs. Like if you've ever heard of like taking your dog on a sniffari, like you sniff on a walk and then you call it a sniffari. So yeah, so this sniff station that I've built is just a bunch of potted plants that are dog safe. They're safe for them to eat. They're safe for them to smell, whatever. On some trellises that I put up on the back of my house. And I designed them with movable pots so that if they take nibbles, I can move that one to the top and it can recover for a little bit. And just, yeah, it can move it around. And honestly, my dog, Charlie, didn't utilize it much, but our puppy, Teddy, he puts everything in his mouth. So he is actually utilizing the sniff station and it makes me so happy.
And so this is like something that is like your new signature. You're like known for this sniff station. Yep. It's not like what you're going to go down in history for, but it's like something you invented.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've seen people do like sniff gardens for their dogs, but like never this little like small space. It's good for a small space because I can't do a whole sniff garden because I have a teeny tiny backyard. So it's nice. And then if you're renting, you can just do pots. Like it's such a good inventive thing. I'm so proud of it.
Oh, I am too. I love it already. When it comes to small spaces, what do you think is your best advice? Like when somebody says, I live in a New York City apartment with 5 roommates and we all work from home.
Oh, God. That's extreme.
Can you imagine?
That is so extreme.
That's terrible. Yeah, take that. No. But do you know what I mean? Like what would you advise is your greatest discovery for a small space?
I think maximizing storage space where you don't think that you have it, because especially in an old small house, there's hardly any storage space in here. We swap out our closets seasonally. We have baskets all over the place for like dog things, clothes, whatever. Like, you have to be smart with how you're storing things because otherwise it will just feel cluttered and smaller if you just have things everywhere.
Totally. Do you have that coffee table that you can also eat on because it lifts up? I think that's pretty smart.
That is super smart. We don't have that, but our ottoman does have storage that I put all of our extra sheets and pillowcases and whatever. And then our couch also, the chase of our couch lifts up into storage as well. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to be smart and add storage where there's not some.
Is your bathroom really tiny, and do you have like shelves over the toilet situation?
Our bathroom, this was not our doing, but there are some cool built-in shelves behind the door that the past owners put in, and it's just like 5 or 6 shelves that we like use for bathroom storage. So that's perfect.
That is perfect. What do you think is the most important thing for people that don't know what to do with their small space? Like, how would you advise love the one you're with?
So, I mean, if they don't love their small space, like we said, you just gotta like utilize the storage, make it feel as clean and organized as possible. But I love talking about like loving where you live, even if it's not your forever home, because that's us. That's literally us. Like, we bought this house intending to only be here for like no more than 5 years. So I mean, on loving where you live, my best advice is just like make it cozy. You can't hate a cozy space. Like, if you put in lamps, blankets, pillows, and just like make yourself feel comfortable, then like that's one thing. And then also, like we were talking about before, just like paint. Like I said, we have not done any major renovations here. We don't plan on it. Like, we could totally rip out the kitchen if we wanted to. We don't plan on it. Instead, we changed the hardware on it, the doors. We changed the floor. And it's just like small little changes to help make the space more of what you would like.
I love that. And I love what you did with the trim. It's such a great idea to, what's it called? Instead of having the paint on the walls, have the paint on the trim. That's such a great
don't get me wrong,
idea.
I would have.
So what about?
Yeah, go ahead.
What?
I was
No,
gonna,
you go.
Well, I was gonna say, like, I would have loved if previous owners did not paint over the trim, because you can like scratch off some paint and there's like the beautiful original wood trim. But I made it pretty by, I
Ooh.
wasn't gonna strip all of that. Made it pretty by just like painting it inverted, like we talked about.
Yes, you. Look at your floor right now. Is it the floor of your dreams? If it is, I think you should probably raise your standards. And if it's not...
Florally, your premier source for designer-inspired floor. Use Florally's live chat with real human beings to answer your flooring questions and even book a free in-home consultation.
Don't forget, design starts from the floor up.
So, Emma, when it comes to floors, what is up with flooring in your little home?
So, I mean, I mentioned that we changed our kitchen floors, and I'll get to that in like a second, but throughout the rest of our house is the original wood floors from 99 years ago. And obviously they're not
Totally
they're
cool.
not in great condition, but I still love them. They are so cute and character. They tell a story. Every single scratch and dent and whatever. But our kitchen floors, that's the only thing that we replaced. The bathroom also they have tile floors in the bathroom, and then the kitchen is different flooring. It's not the wood floor. So it was this peel and stick gray wood look flooring. And ever since we moved into the house, I was like, this is not my style. This is too trendy, on the way out trend. Gray is not really in anymore. So I was like, I always knew I was going to replace it. It just didn't feel like it fit the rest of the house. So then I decided we didn't want to put a lot of money into it. We could have done tile, but that was a lot of money. And we also didn't feel like taking on the DIY because we don't really hire out. We do everything ourselves because it saves money.
Yeah. And that's hard.
So we wanted to do, yeah, exactly. Tile is hard. So I knew I wanted to try peel and stick because I've seen people have success with it. Like, there's so many different influencers who have said that they have success and they've posted 5 years down the line and it's still in great shape. So I was like, okay, let's do it because we won't be here for much longer. It'll last. Joke's on me. It didn't. It's literally the second we installed it, it wasn't good. So we decided to do the peel and stick, like I said, and it's like this classic black and white tile look. It looks beautiful, or it could look beautiful. It has potential.
You've got to send Britt a picture of that so that when we do this, everybody can see it, because I'm dying to see it. I love that.
It is.
You know what I saw one time that was the coolest little idea? Imagine original hardwood floors, and then you paint over those white.
Yeah.
And then you paint black over that with like a fleur-de-lis or something, like a something.
That would be so pretty. I thought you were going to say there's someone that I've seen that they left the wood floors, but then they did like a checkerboard pattern over that in like a green. And that's really pretty too.
I love that. Yes. Do that.
Well, if I had wood in my kitchen, I would have considered it. But instead, with these wood floors, we were on like a deadline because I was doing a photo shoot in my house, and like 0 out of 10 do not recommend ever doing DIY projects on a deadline because you're going to cut corners, which we did. We could have used like a self-leveling liquid to level out everything in the kitchen. Take the stove out, take the fridge out. We did not. We decided to just like rip up all the floors, and then it was literally just like cement and subfloor. And we were like, well, might as well. So then we just started sticking down the peel and stick tiles, and as we were sticking them down, they were peeling up, and we were like, what do we do? Of course, it was already like 1 a.m. at that point, and we needed to get this done like that weekend because the photo shoot was on like Sunday. So we were just like, okay, well, let's just do it. So we kept trucking on, and now, I mean, it's getting better now, but for like weeks, we couldn't even walk in the kitchen with socks on because our socks would snag on every single corner.
Oh my God.
So nightmare. I got ripped apart on Facebook for when I posted that reel about the kitchen. I got ripped apart on Facebook. People on Instagram were nicer. People on Facebook were not nice.
What do you mean? What do you mean, Emma? What did they rip you apart for? It's your photo shoot, your kitchen.
Exactly.
You set it up.
Exactly. People on the internet are crazy.
It's
I'm
not
sure
like
you know.
You're
like
working for them.
They think, and it's not their money, it's not their house, but people were like, I mean, in the video, I literally admitted, like, this was a mistake. I know we did wrong. We're learning for the future. And people were like, wow, you seem to know so much about flooring. You should be a flooring contractor. And I'm like, wow, that's my dream job, actually. Or like people telling me like, oh, what did you expect if you did a hack job?
People.
Yeah, so people were mean about it. That's okay. Just kill them with kindness.
You know what? That's right. Live and learn. Take it as just part of your training. Because
Exactly.
it's just going to only make you better.
This first house has been so... Exactly. And our first house is just like, it's practice. It's so forgiving of every mistake, and we'll do better in the next house.
Do you have your eyes on the next house?
So not officially. My husband sends me things on Zillow all the time, but we don't have any plans to move in the next, say, like year, but maybe in the next like 2 to 3 years, we might move. We'll see. We have zero idea where we want to move. We'll stay in Michigan, but we don't know where.
And then will you stay with the accounting, or do you think that you can like turn this into a business or something?
I would love to. The big goal with starting my own interior design business, and also I do content creation as well, is to hopefully, if and when we have kids, be able to drop to like part-time accounting, and then, or drop accounting completely. But you know, insurance is one of the things that you have to consider. So, so we'll see. Like,
that's very smart.
We'll see how it ends up. But it would be nice to. I mean, the dream would obviously be to just not have to do accounting at all anymore, and just be able to do my own thing and be with the kid or kids. So.
And you know, Emma, for the first like year plus, you don't need an extra room for that baby because it's going to be in the bassinet in your room. Just so you know.
Well,
Don't worry about
well,
that.
like I said, in this room, I literally can't fit a bassinet next to my bed.
Oh, because it's 10 by 10. Do you have an outside area besides the sniff station? Do you have like a screened-in porch?
We don't. We would love a patio. We don't know if it's in the cards for this house. We shall see. But we have like a outdoor dining table, and then I'm working on a project right now where I'm just creating a little like seating area with some Adirondack chairs and a little table just to sit out there and chill. And ever since we got those chairs set up, we use them every single day. So this was a really good idea, but they're just on the driveway in the backyard.
That is so
Live here.
cute. What else was I going to ask you? So if this is your first home, was it like the fifth one that you saw when you guys were looking, or the first one, or the last one, or did you just tell me?
It was the 8th offer that we put on a house. It was probably like the 50th house that we saw. I know. Well, okay. Shopping.
So you are one of the people that had to get in that game.
Yep. We bought it in
that over asking game of
July of 2020 when everything was going absolutely crazy. If you didn't see a house on Zillow and go see it immediately, it would be off the market by that afternoon.
Right. Or almost put in sight unseen offer.
We never did that, thank goodness. But we actually,
Good.
we were being way too free and open, I guess. We were throwing offers out willy-nilly. I feel like we should not have put 8 offers in on houses. Thankfully, in our opinion, we ended up with the best house, and it ended up the way that it was supposed to. And this is the best house of all the ones that we put offers in on. But like, it was crazy stressful.
I know, it's terrible. And as a home stager, but also an interior decorator on top of that, love the one you're with, instead of selling dwelling, people are just staying put because they don't want to get into that crazy game of over asking and the fight to the finish and getting in the front of the line and all that. So I've done a lot of helping people stay where they are lately because of all that.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to ask you next is, tell me about your living room. What did you do in there? Do it yourself?
Again, we didn't do much. We have something else that people seem to really love is we have a picture ledge behind our couch that my husband built. And then I changed the pictures out seasonally. But that was perfect because like the picture ledges that you buy online are kind of like cheap. So then he built me like a nice one. It's really like, it's a sturdy wood picture ledge. Whatever. I can go on and on. But otherwise, like, just the living room is like heavy on just intentional styling. Like, we raised the curtains up to the ceiling, and you hang them wider than the window. So the window seems bigger, lets more light in. And then we did that same inverted trim in the living room as well. But otherwise, like, the living room was just...
What color did you do in the living room?
It's the same as the dining room. The
trim.
Gray and the white.
Got it. So good.
Yeah.
So what would be your do-it-yourself hack? Like when people say, I know, I'm just going to do the floor myself. You've already used that, so you can't use it again. But what's another like hack that you have realized because you are a do-it-yourselfer and you're like, don't do this? Like, what would you recommend as totally what is totally worth hiring somebody out to do because of not doing it yourself? Do you know what I mean?
Okay, well, first of all, first tip is don't do things on a deadline, like I said before. But the things that we tend to hire out, the only things we've ever hired out for are like plumbing, electrical, things like that, where like if it goes wrong, it could be catastrophic. Like all of the aesthetic things are totally DIY-able.
Totally. But since we are sponsored by a flooring company, I guess we could say you should have somebody come in and do the floors, right?
I mean, with our mess up, probably. Like if we were to do tile, we would probably hire someone.
I feel like we have covered so much, and I love meeting people that just take it on themselves to do it yourself. I hope that everybody will look at your projects and be nice about it because it's very hard, and not to mention ballsy and brave to put your work up, to say, exactly what you did and how honest you were about it, and that people will be kind because it takes a lot of creativity and brains and accounting to make it all work, I think.
Yep.
Well, listen, please keep in touch with us because I want to know what your next projects are, and when you do find another house, if you do, or maybe you'll just add 1,000 square feet like I did.
Do not want to stay in this area. Don't bring that upon me.
You don't. You don't like the area you're in.
It is cute. If you like living near a downtown area with lots of restaurants and all that stuff, but I would rather be in the trees, in nature. I'd rather live closer to where there's nature and trails.
Well, maybe you could like put your house on stilts and be in a treehouse or find one.
Sure, yeah, sure. Except there's like no trees around here. So maybe we can pick my house up on a trailer and bring it to the woods.
You know, you guys said that you were so into national parks. I'm sure you get a lot of inspiration from that. And you bring in a lot of like the parks that you like to visit and where you got married and stuff into your house.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it tells a story about you guys.
I do, like, whenever we travel
What
places,
about, like-
we get little artifacts rather than like just like things that say the place. We get like pictures and local artist pictures and coasters and things like that.
Have you done like a whole hodgepodge collage gallery wall with that kind of stuff?
I have not. I love gallery walls. I can just like never get them right. And I feel like in a small space, they might feel like a little cluttered. But like I have just like little pictures, like where I'm sitting, I'm looking at some pictures from Acadia, or like in the bathroom, we have some pictures from travels and things like that. But I can never get the gallery walls right.
Oh, girl, we got to have lunch. It's like one of my specialties.
Oh, gosh, I really need help. So,
well, the thing about, you're so right about small spaces and not doing a gallery wall, because the more your eye stops to look at things, the smaller a room appears. And so if you put a whole bunch of stuff up, especially objects or different frames that are not universal, then I'm so glad that you haven't done that in your small space, because it's kind of like a no-no.
I know. Well, yeah, like using big scale art in a small space is like the key. Like I have a huge tapestry in the bedroom, because instead of putting like a bunch of little things on the wall in my 10 by 10 bedroom, just the big tapestry. And then you just takes up the whole wall. Your eye instantly goes to it.
Perfect. I really like your window treatment hack. That is brilliant. Did you hear what I said, Pod Posse? If you have an off-center window and you need to put the bed in the middle of a 10 by 10 room, then make the curtains go the way that it looks like everything is symmetrical. Bingo!
Exactly.
I think that's the nugget that we're looking for, because that's what everybody needs to know. There it is. You're welcome. You're welcome, Pod Posse, for me getting that out of Emma. It's her idea. Awesome. Well, I have loved talking to you today. I wish that I wasn't so far away from you, because I would literally come running over to your house, get down and pet your doggies, look at the sniff station, look at the gray trim, let me see the 10 by 10 bedroom, let me see the U-shaped kitchen, all the things. I think what you're doing is great, and I can't wait to see more of your stuff.
Thank you so much. I love talking with you too.
You are so welcome. Oh, good. Well, let's do it again, and let's keep checking each other's work out and supporting each other, because it's so important to be kind and supportive and not give anybody any flack for putting up their work, because it's so personal and you can't not take it personally, and we need to be there for each other and not take it out on each other.
Agreed.
So, thank you for joining us today, Emma Shay. And thank you for listening to us rant and rave about do-it-yourselves, do-it-yourselfers, do-it-yourself. What am I trying to say? Anyway, thank you for tuning in. Now I've lost all my words. But thank you for tuning in to Design Time from the Floor Up. This is Lindsay Wilson, also known as Lindsay the Stager. And I will see you on the flip side, Pod Posse. Sayonara.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. If you're enjoying this episode, please like, comment, or subscribe. If you don't like it, then off.